Fannie Lou Hamer was born October 6, 1917, in Montgomery County, Mississippi. Her family was sharecroppers, a job that was not too much different than slavery. Fannie Lou came from a large family. She had 19 brothers and sisters, and she was the youngest. Sharecropping was a hard way to make a living. Her family went half on everything with the farmer for their plot of land.
Oh man, yeah, you know what you owe me. You know what you owe me. That's cool, right? We cool. That's your change. You see me tomorrow, right? We cool.
Fannie Lou started picking cotton at age 6, and at age 12, she dropped out of school to work full-time to help support her family. By the time she was 13, she could pick 200 to 300 pounds of cotton a day. That was the same amount as an adult. In 1945, Fannie Lou met Perry Pop Hamer, who worked at another plantation as a tractor driver. They got married. They wanted children, but couldn't have any. She went to the hospital when she was 27, and they told her that she had a tumor. The doctor unknowingly performed a hysterectomy on Fannie Lou. When she found out, she was outraged. The doctor said he did it out of kindness, to stop more poor children from coming into the world. This didn't stop Fannie Lou and Pop from having their family. They adopted 4 children from very poor families, 2 boys and 2 girls. In 1962, Reverend James Bevel came to Rouville, Mississippi, an organizer with the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, an organization of Dr. Martin Luther King's, and appealed for blacks to register to vote. At that time, in the South, blacks faced terrible punishments if they tried to register, like harassment, loss of their jobs, physical beatings, loss of homes, and even lynchings. In spite of all this, Hamer was still the first to volunteer to register. Hamer was sick and tired of how blacks were being treated in Mississippi. When she thought back to the situation, she said, "I guess if I had any sense, I've had to be a little scared. But what was the sense of being scared? The only thing they could do was kill me. And it seemed that they've been trying to do that a little bit at a time since I could remember." On August 31st, 1962, Fannie Lou went to Indianola, Mississippi to register. She went on a bus rented with others from the sermon. She began to sing Christian hymns to help still the nerves of the group. Songs like "Go Tell It on a Mountain" and "This Little Light of Mine." But no one passed the test. Blacks had to pass the Mississippi literacy test. They had to copy a portion of the Mississippi legislature to the satisfaction of the examiner. Or some had to answer a tricky question. If a person charged with treason denies his guilt, how many people must testify against him to convict him? This didn't stop Hamer. She told the examiner on one of her visits, "I'll be back every 30 days for the rest of my life until I pass this test." She passed the test. After she passed, hundreds of other blacks in Mississippi passed the test also. In 1962, white supremacist groups like the White Citizens Council formed in 1954 to stop Brown versus Board of Education sprung into action. Their goal was to keep Mississippi white. When Fannie Lou returned home, her family told her that the plantation owner had came to the house and was upset because she went to register. She told him she didn't register for him, she registered for herself. He told her if she didn't withdraw, she would have to leave. Fannie Lou and her family left that night and stayed with friends. Somehow, the KKK found out where they were staying and shot up the house. One day, Bob Moses, the SNCC organizer, recruited Fannie as an activist for the South. She remained living in Mississippi, but she traveled throughout the South as an activist for the SNCC. On June 9, 1963, while on the way back from a workshop in Charleston, South Carolina with other activists, the bus stopped in Winona, Mississippi. The group was arrested and put into jail for false charges. Once in jail, the entire group was beaten savagely, almost to the point of death. Hamer was released on June 12, 1963. It took her more than a month to recover. In 1964, Hamer was elected vice chair of the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party. This party was organized for the sole purpose to break the Mississippi all-white and anti-civil rights delegation. The Freedom Democrats drew national attention, and this began to come in conflict with Lyndon B. Johnson, the Democratic nominee who was seeking a second term. Johnson knew if the Freedom Democrats were successful, he would lose Southern support, in turn, lose the re-election. Fannie Lou was invited along with the other Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party to address the convention's Credentials Committee. She told them about the day she was arrested and beaten up in jail. All this is on the account. We want to register and become first-class citizens, she told them. Hamer continued to work for the Freedom Democratic Party. In 1964 and in 1965, she ran for Congress. She was not successful, but she continued to work and volunteer in the community. Fannie Lou continued to work on committees, projects, and grassroots level programs like Head Start. On March 4, 1977, Hamer dies of breast cancer at age 59. I'm never sure anymore when I leave home, whether I get back or not. Sometimes it seems like to tell the truth today is to run the risk of being killed. But if I fall 5 feet 4 inches forward in the fat of freedom. I'm not backing off of that.